Hey everybody, Tim here with Student Athlete World. In this video we're going to talk about how to deal with your first contact from a college coach and also how the recruiting funnel works. So you've been in our program and you started to hear from college coaches and they started to reach out to you. Most likely those first contacts are going to be via email or maybe a text message or a phone call. And what's really important for you to remember is that when they're reaching out to you, they are not telling you that they want you on their team and they're offering you a scholarship. They're telling you, hey, I'm interested in finding out more about you. So I think this is really similar to how the dating process works with a guy or a girl that may be interested in somebody else and they flirt with them. And that's how it starts. And when they flirt with you, when somebody has flirted with you, that doesn't mean that they want to marry you. It just means that hey, they might be interested in you. It also doesn't mean they're exclusively only flirting with you. They may be flirting with lots and lots of people. And what your job is to take that initial flirting or that initial contact and give something back so that the relationship develops into eventually an offer. So to understand that, you first need to understand the college coaching funnel, the recruiting funnel that coaches use. You think about a funnel. It starts at the top, it's a lot of people, and it narrows down, and it's a small amount of people. So college coaches will start with a large number of prospects, and they will gather these from a number of sources. They will funnel them through, and eventually only make offers to the select few that have qualified. So the way that they narrow people down can be different. Sometimes it can be a video that they watch. It can be live evaluations of you. It can be bringing people to campus. It can be phone calls. It can be measurables. It can be any number of different ways. And sometimes they're in different orders. Sometimes at some schools, like say for example at Duke basketball, the funnel may start with 10 people and end with 3. Now at a small NAIA school in football, the funnel might start with 10,000 and end with 30. So there's variances between how each school funnels kids, but the main point is just because you got an email or a phone call or a camp invite, it doesn't mean you have an offer. They're narrowing that down. So once you've heard from the college coach with that initial contact, you are now in a large group of people who that coach has reached out to. What you want to do is take steps to separate yourself from all of your other competition when you reply back to that coach. You want to make sure that you realize that that coach doesn't know who you are most likely at this point and doesn't know anything about you and it can easily forget you. So it's your job to take the next step to make sure that you stay on the top of their mind and to make sure that you progress the relationship further. They have opened the door for you. It's your job to make sure that you take it to the next step. Your family has probably invested a lot of time and effort and money into your athletic career. It's really important that you grow up and be as personal and thorough and dedicated in their responses to these coaches. How you communicate with these coaches will be vastly different than how you communicate with your 16 and 17-year-old friends. Do not treat the college coaches like they're other your 16-year-old friends in school. I can't stress this enough. College coaches are older adults that have real jobs. They don't use 1 or 2 sentence communication with the kids that they're recruiting. So there's 3 tips I want to give you to help you take this initial contact and turn it into something eventually more substantial. The first tip for you is to put your cell phone and tablet down. Do not use a cell phone or a tablet in the recruiting process. Save the email, wait until later when you have time to be thorough, to do some research, and to reply in a way that's going to put your best foot forward. I'll give you an example. If a college coach sends a letter that introduces the program to you, realize they probably sent that letter to hundreds of other kids. If you reply back with Thanks, tell me more about your school. You're basically telling that coach, I'm too lazy or too dumb to go onto Google and type in the name of your school and figure out more about that school. That college coach is going to hear back from lots and lots of kids. If you don't take that opportunity to tell them about you, you're missing a huge opportunity to get recruited. So put the phone down, wait until you have time, and respond appropriately. The second thing you want to make sure you do is to take advantage of the signature function that's available in your email provider. If you don't know what that is, you want to look into whatever email provider you have, and they will have something called a signature. In that signature, you can put relevant information like your name, because when you reply to the college coach, they don't know your name. You were an email that they got from somebody that expressed some interest. Your name, your graduation year, don't say you're a junior, say you're a 2014 or 2015 or whatever that might be, and the high school that you go to and what state that's in. Put all of that information in your signature so that every time you reply to a coach, you don't have to rewrite that. Now you also want to put in the signature the URL to your profile online that has all your information. That way every time you send an email to a coach, they have an opportunity to click on that and explore more about you. Of course, that will also have your video in your profile link, so your student athlete world profile link will go there. And then you also could even include a picture of you in your signature. You may have to embed that picture or add that as an image so that every time the college coach gets an email from you, they know everything they need to know about you. So take advantage of that signature function in your email. Okay, so the last tip for you is probably the most important, and that is to be personal and thorough in your response to each college coach. Now, the more context that you're getting, the harder it will be to be personal, because if you're hearing from 100 college coaches, you may not have the time to respond back as personal as you can to each of those coaches. The smaller or the longer you go through the process, the less number of coaches you're talking to, the more personal that you can be. Take your time and do some research. Most of what you're going to ask a coach you can find out on their website. Go explore their website. Explore the majors that they have. Explore something about the school. Explore something about the team. And when you reply back, don't reply back with, hey man, I want a scholarship. Reply back with, hey, I saw that you guys lost 2 midfielders this year. Are you looking for a midfielder in this class? I'm a midfielder, and these are some attributes that I have that I think could help you. Or, I see that you have a strong English program. I'm an English major or want to be an English major, and that's very interested in that. Or, hey, I see you're building a new dormitory. I'm really interested in finding out more about that. Tell me something about that. Be personal. When the college coach gets a letter from a kid and they can tell it's a form letter, or they can tell it's short and it's a standard, hey, I'm interested, they're going to do one of 3 things when they get a letter back from a kid. They're going to look at it and do nothing. They're going to look at it and take action, or they're going to look at it and cross you off their list. So if you send them a letter like, hey, I'm interested, keep in touch, bye, they're going to look at it and do nothing. So what you want to do is take advantage of that opportunity to get them to take action. So when you do send them a letter, you say, here's information about me, the personal thing, and then say, here's my schedule. Here's the events I'm going to be at this spring and summer. I'd love for you to come watch me. Or tell me, and this is you talking, tell me where you're going to be, what recruiting events you're going to be at, so maybe I can try to arrange my schedule to be at one of those as well. If you ask them something that forces them to respond, then they're going to respond to you. And then think about it like a game of tennis. They hit the ball into your court by asking you, by reaching out to you in the first place. You hit the ball back to them by asking them something so that they respond back to you. You are trying to develop the relationship. Do not get a big head and think that just because you got one email that now the next step is the offer. That doesn't work like that. It's your job to help them know more about you, teach them about you, and then it's also your job to follow up and be thorough as you go through the process with them. Remember, they're recruiting a lot of people. Your foot in the door helps, but it's up to you to take the steps to move on the relationship to the next level. So don't forget, 3 things again today that you want to make sure you're doing. Get off your phone. I'm going to say it again. Get off your phone. Don't reply to a coach over your phone. Number 2, use the signature function of your email. It's a really handy way to save you time. And then number 3, be as personal and thorough when responding to college coaches. Good luck, everybody.